Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back for another Music is My Business podcast, live Q&A. Shout out to the Sync Producer Hub people in the building. Zimzada, I see you on our private Zoom. Gerald, or G5, my guy, I see you. What's good? Let me adjust this stuff. There we go. So we can see the comments. Excited to be back. Excited to answer some questions. For the people on YouTube watching, what's good? Hope all is well in YouTube land. It's been a minute. So this week has been, I guess, a pretty productive week for me. Knocking out some briefs, and what else have I been doing? Mostly that, just kind of like finalizing mixes and stuff like that. And then organizing like another project that we're about to start. Musician's Friend 2 was good. So that's been dope. Submitted something and just waiting to hear back, see what goes on with that. So pretty productive week overall. It's crazy that it's Friday. It was also the last day a couple days ago for my oldest, last day of school. So all of the end of the year after school events and all that stuff. So it's been crazy, man. So for the people in the Sync Producer Hub, if you guys have a question and you want to come up on camera, let me know. Just raise your hand in the Zoom call and I'll bring you up into the stream. Or if you just want to type a comment in the chat, I'll see that and then I'll just share it on the screen as usual. No worries. And then people on YouTube, if you guys have a question, if I come across it, I'll see it. Obviously, the Sync Producer Hub is going to get first dibs at questions, and the ability to be on video and kind of talk to me one-on-one. So if you haven't joined Sync Producer Hub, the link to that is in the description. But yeah, G5 says, can't believe that we're already at the end of May. Like, seriously, man, it's been flying. Like, this whole year has just been flying. Like, it was literally like the new year. And yeah, we're halfway through. So we're halfway through the year. If you haven't started doing something to, I don't know, to work towards your goals that you had at the beginning of the year, like, now's a good time to like start working on that stuff, because you about to run out of time. So yeah, Zimzada says flying facts. Best wishes and buy more food. Trust me. Oh my gosh, bro. The 5-year-old, he's eating as much as me now. Like, dude is throwing, and he eats all day. It's not like here's a few meals and a couple snacks. He's just like, meal 1 done, what's next? Snack done, what's next? Like, let's just keep this going. And I'm like, fam, you need a job now. This is getting crazy. So yeah, it's crazy. Kenneth Knight, I see you, man. What's good? So yeah, let me know if you guys have questions, man. I'm here to just be a resource, answer any questions that you guys have. And yeah, growing kids can eat. We were once there back in the day. It's crazy. Flares, you gotta hide your own snacks, Clint. Seriously, like I have a basket of snacks over here. It's really nothing in there, to be honest. It's just a bunch of tea right now, but usually I have snacks in there. So I got to restock on that. And yeah, I'll probably have to create some type of secret stash down here, because things go fast. James says, my son is out of the house, but I remember those days. Yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So while we're waiting for the questions to flow in, I came across interesting information. I was talking to entertainment attorney, and we were kind of having a discussion about AI, and I learned something, and it was, I'm gonna have to bring her on so we can kind of have a full discussion on this. But like, a lot of these companies that allow you to like generate music, right? I've talked before about the subscription models they have, and like at a certain tier you're able to like pay for a certain tier, and then you're able to own the copyright. Like, they kind of market it as, if you pay the higher subscription fee, you will be the copyright owner of this AI generated music. So what I learned is like no human, there can't be a copyright for something that was created by a non-human, by AI. So it has to be a human creation aspect to this for it to actually be copyrightable. So I learned that. I didn't know that. So it's kind of like we were just talking about. I was like, that's messed up, because they're like kind of marketing is like, you don't even have a copyright to give me in the first place. So like we're paying like this extra amount of money thinking, hey, we get a chance to own this and this and that. But they can't even copyright it if it's just 100% AI generated. So I thought that was interesting. We'll definitely have to, have that full conversation, because it's super interesting stuff. Like anytime there's like some new technology, there's always like that gray area of like legislation and like what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember, but when they like legislation and when they're trying to sort of control something in a way, I guess. I can't remember the term I'm looking for, but it's interesting. Gavino got it. What's good? It has been a minute. John Tyndall, what's up? Matthew Chevalier, I see you. So yeah, AI, it's been interesting. I always get questions about it. What do you feel? How do you feel about it? So it's just one of those things, man, where it's just constantly developing, and we gotta see how things develop, how the law kind of interacts with this stuff over time, and then just kind of be prepared for whatever, man. G5 says paying money doesn't necessarily make it that you own it. An aspect of copyright, and my option is tricky. In your opinion, payment doesn't make it you. Yeah, it's just literally like something to just quickly get you to pay the premium for a subscription. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I actually I use a service and I was like, oh, like that's what I would want. But then I'm also not using 100% AI generated music. I'm like taking the ideas and then just kind of creating my own stuff with it. I wish UDO would allow me to upload my own music, allowing AI to get more of an idea of what I'm looking for. Yeah, the one I've been playing with, Ava, that one will allow you to upload your own music and I guess quote unquote train it. So that's pretty cool about that. And I tried it, I guess it did an okay job. Like it did an okay job. But if I upload more, it could probably do better. But then that's the other tricky part about AI is like, okay, if I'm uploading my music, are they also going to use this to further train their model? So, permission is needed, should be needed to do that. And I feel like compensation in some way should be given. And I know some companies kind of they went and did like some deal and paid a portion of whatever they made off of that to composers, but I don't know. There wasn't like a ton of transparency in that transaction or a heads up. So G5 says, yeah, it's in the early stages. Maybe 5 years from now, we will all be using AI music to some extent. Who knows? Yeah, facts. Matthew says, still never used AI in my music, but will definitely try it. Also waiting to unlock level 8 for your AI for producers pack. Oh, yeah. Which level are you on now, Matthew? Yeah, the AI for producers pack is It's dope. So I share some of the tools I've been using with that. Um, and Ava, I mentioned Ava in that, as well as some prompts, some chat GPT prompts, or like, whatever you use. If you use what's the Google one, Gemini, you can use it for that as well. I like the results I got using chat GPT though, with those prompts in the AI for Producers pack. Level 4, okay, yeah, you're not far at all. Yeah, you'll level up in no time. Pond 5 paid me for using my music. I think it was $50. Yeah, that's the company that was the only company that I seen did that, and I got paid like around the same amount. So I think everybody got like $50. We got dinner for the night from Pond 5, and they literally sold our music to train like entire systems apparently. So yeah, there's that. So it's interesting, man. Right now, I just been kind of using it to just generate 4 8-bar ideas, and it allows you to, like, you can download the MIDI and stuff like that, and then put your own instruments in there, switch stuff around, and that makes it that makes it a little bit flexible. Chris Gustin in the building. I see you. Another sync producer hub member. Thanks Pond 5 for dinner that night. Really appreciate it. So yeah, man. For the new people joining, let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. Let me see who's in the chat tonight. Today has been nonstop too. Today has been nonstop. California in the building. I see you. Music producer. Love it. Who else do we have? Yo, so funny thing happened this week inside of TV Placement Mastery. A student was like in the pitching process and literally reached out to a publisher, and this publisher was interested in their music, which was great news. But then they were talking further and come to find out, like, they're literally in the same city. So he was able to like meet the publisher in person, have lunch, and like start to build a relationship. I was like, bro, this is never ever in the history of me coaching and this has never happened before. It was hilariously interesting. So we were excited about that, and the fact that, it just sounds super promising. Like, anytime you can make a human connection, like in person with a publisher, I just feel like that just drastic, and that's after they heard your music. Like, I just feel like that just drastically increases chances of actually getting a sync publishing deal. So I'm super excited for my guy. We got James Robinson, producer guitarist from Del Valle, Texas. Chris Gustin from Cali, mixing engineer, composer. We got music teacher, AMA producer, 3 more weeks of school. I love it. Virginia, DC. LW is in the building. What's up, LW? The legendary LW. I like that hat. I want a percentage on merch for my contributions. For sure. Oh man, James Robinson in the building. But yeah, Pond 5. Interesting. I think they gave you I think they gave us an option to like opt out though, which I mean that's cool. I can't remember. I probably missed the initial email that it was about to happen, because I think they gave us a window to opt out if we didn't want our music to, be sent in that deal for AI training. But, I missed that. So I ended up getting that $50 check and was just like, what is this? LV Drizzle Music. Much love watching the segment on the TV screen, and I just wanted to tap in on my tablet. Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Super dope, man. Appreciate you tuning in. For sure. For the new people joining in, man, we're doing live Q&A. So if you guys have questions about sync, music business, licensing, anything, any of that stuff, man, drop it in the chat. For my Sync Producer Hub members in the private stream, you can raise your hand if you want to hop on video, or you can just drop your question in the chat as well. And for those who are like, what in the world is Sync Producer Hub? If you haven't heard, because I haven't been on YouTube in a minute, I've been spending a lot of time inside of Sync Producer Hub, but it is a private community with a bunch of dope people, and they get access to like a bunch of exclusive content. All of my courses are inside there. So it's a new community that I launched, what was it, about a month ago? It's been like a month now. Everybody in it, like they've been kind of in there watching me build it from like the ground up. So that's what it is. If you're interested, the link is in the description. Super dope stuff inside of there. Zimzada, Texas, here near Dallas. Go Mavs. Love it. Not mad at it. Yo, Zim, how is everything in Texas? Like, I heard the weather got crazy. I don't know if that happened close to where you were or not, but glad to see you're okay, because that weather was looking vicious. I had to tap in with a couple people after I seen that. Shout out to all my Texas people. Hope y'all safe. Houston. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess it's tornado season now. That's what we have to look forward to. Shout out to Flares. Yo, like, Flares has like changed lives with with this trailer music boost pack we just dropped this week. He like gave us the blueprint in Logic Pro form. And then gave us like samples, like a sample pack of like sound design stuff. Gave us a whole guide on like how to structure trailers, and I've literally used this last couple trailers I did. And I think it was the last two. 'Cause I know I started an idea. I think that was the first one that I finished. I think I have some session lingering. I can't remember if I finished it and started like a new idea because of like a brief that came in. So I was just like, let me come back to this, and I kind of changed directions. So yeah, that joint is fire. Shout out to Flares for creating that. That is also available. I'm gonna drop the link in there as soon as I find it. So if you're interested in like composing trailer music, what I've learned, because you know I don't have much experience with just like trailer music stuff in general. So what I've learned is that it is completely different than just producing a regular song for for TV, film, artists or whatever. Completely different. So I implemented the structure that he kind of laid out, took the notes that he had in the guide that he created, and he even put those notes like in the Logic process. So if you're a Logic user, like literally you'll have the notes in the note section with the template, and then you just kind of fill in and do your own thing, which makes it like super duper helpful. So there's that. If you want to check it out, I think it's a game changer because I use it personally. So yeah. All right, we got some questions coming in. Let's pull G-Fi up, man. See what my guy has to say. Like that. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you guys?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, hello.
What's good, man?
What's
How's
good? What's
everything?
good? Good, good, good. Trying to keep it moving.
I feel you, man.
I was wondering, in regards to sync licensing, does exclusive versus non-exclusive licensing, does that like affect the how much you get paid?
I think so. I mean, I think any brand or client would be willing to pay a little bit more for exclusive music than non-exclusive, and
Okay.
you'll even come across um, some music supervisors and sync agents who will, not all of them, but some of them find exclusive music or like music that's just represented exclusive with one publisher more valuable, um and less like, I don't know, like, and you'll find that, like, music supervisors, they have different opinions on this, but some find it like if it's just with a bunch of publishers, then they're just like, like, it kind of decreases the value, whereas others are like, hey, it is what it is. If the music works, it works. But sometimes it can get confusing because if multiple publishers represent it and they receive that submission from multiple publishers, then they're kind of like, like, I don't know who to pay. Like, do I do who sent it first, or like, is this other publisher gonna feel some type of way because I
Right, right.
use the other publishers submission. So usually exclusive is kind of just the best route to go.
Right. Okay.
And it just cuts down on headaches and makes everybody's life easier. Excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, just learning from you. I mean, that's and other people too in the sync space. That's the route that I chose to go. But I was just kind of wondering, like, if it made much of a difference in general as far as like payout, if it were exclusive or not. So, but I do get what you're saying though.
Yep. And it seems like now, like, more publishers are just kind of leaning into the exclusive too now. So I think you'll
Okay.
see way more opportunities for exclusive representation per song or instrumental versus
Mhm.
non-exclusive.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem, man. Yeah, that's a great question. Because there's non-exclusive libraries, and then there's some that are exclusive. I feel like it was real heavy. Like, non-exclusive was the way to go back in the day, because you could, like, literally take a bucket of tracks and just spread them out across as many publishers as you wanted to, and it was a way to just kind of capitalize on all of the opportunities that are out there. um and then sometimes you kind of have that non-exclusivity when working directly with music supervisors. Sometimes, like, if you're, in the sense that if you're the owner, you're the artist or whatever, you kind of own master publishing and things like that, you can submit that to multiple music supervisors, and usually that's not an issue because they're still kind of getting exclusive music if they're only getting it from you, right? They're not getting it from multiple sources. It's just you, the one source, sending it to multiple music supervisors. So that situation is a little bit different. Um, Another thing that I think kind of factors into pay and like how much they are willing to pay is having more of like an established brand as an artist as well. Um, so, you know, I think that can play a role. Which we have a student inside of Mastery where they, like, they're a producer, but then they also have like an artist side as well, where they release music as an artist. And the publisher was like actually more interested in the artist side of things, and kind of pitching more of the artist stuff. So that can absolutely work in your favor as well. So yeah, a lot of different things, man, that factors that pay. And then sometimes it just comes straight down the budget. Either they have it or they don't. You know what I mean? So, good question, man. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in the chat. If you're in the private community chat, raise your hand if you want to hop up on video, or you can drop your question in the chat as well. So yeah, music reviews. I've been hearing a lot. I've been getting a lot of questions about when the music reviews coming back. They're coming back in like a month. Let me look at my calendar. Because it's gonna be in June. I'll be doing a boot camp every Friday night. So yeah, we'll probably start back up like mid-July or like the end of July, and then we gonna get it back popping, man. We gonna see if y'all been working. All year. So I'm excited to hear some new music from these communities, and yeah, super excited about that. Hear what y'all been cooking up. So it's been a minute, man, since we did one. What it was like, literally, what was that? November, December? It's probably been longer than that, man. Because I know we started prepping for the baby, so that was crazy. And then we just been off. November, it was a minute. Yeah, I think it was like around November. Cause I know we needed like that extra time in case the baby came in January. Cause I think that was the original due date, sometime in January. So yeah, LW says I was about to start my own since you were taking so long. Like, you know what? We just about to start a new one. I feel it. That would have been dope though. I would have legit tuned in while like rocking the baby to sleep or something. Matthew, never been in the music reviews. Oh my gosh, Matthew. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. A lot of talent. Occasionally we'll come across interesting music, very interesting, but it's really cool, man, because everybody bounces feedback, back and forth to kind of help people. Like if there's improvements that can be made, we kind of talk about like, where the music could be heard. Obviously, if it's sync ready or not. Give a few notes here and there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then we try and give some. What were we doing? I know we were doing like gold, bronze, and silver, and I think we just went back to the number system or something like that. Top 3 or something. Where the people don't like the vote. So LW like just picks a winner until she gets tired of it, and then she's just like, forget it. Yeah, it's very cool to hear other people's music and hear feedback. Super valuable. Yeah, facts. I agree. So yeah, it helps a lot because you don't know, man. Like when you're just in the studio by yourself, just listening to your own music over and over, you need feedback from other people. This is whatever I feel like on that night. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm excited to get that started back up. Also, shout out to Instagram. Have Instagram been glitching like crazy for y'all? Yesterday, I had 0 followers and I was following 0 people. That happened. Also, if I log on, it'll say I'm live. Like if I'm on a post or something, it'll say, look, it's still saying it right now. Let me see if okay. See that? The little live thing on the or on that side. It's saying I'm live right now. I don't know if anybody else sees that or if it's just like on my side. But yeah, it's literally saying I'm live. I'm not live on Instagram. I haven't been live on Instagram since like last night. So it's just been doing weird stuff. And I seen somebody else somebody else had posted, I think they were on someone else's profile, and they were scrolling and they started seeing their own content on somebody else's profile. It was weird, man. Like, is there a glitch in the matrix? Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with IG. And they keep re-releasing old features as if they're new and reintroducing them. It's just really weird. Like, they're all over the place, man. They're all over the place. So, last week we talked about Music X-Ray and like the death of pay to submit. Feels like that's happening. So if you missed that, go back and watch that episode. It's up. It's not on the podcast yet. It'll be on the podcast Monday. And it should be like on the YouTube recorded stream or something on the channel now. But yeah, very interesting shifts happening in our business. Zimzada, have a good one. Gotta go to man. It is graduation season. Have fun and congrats to whoever just graduated. DJ Ducky Duck. What should I use to post my music catalog? I prefer disco.ac. It's just easy. It's simple. It's clean, and it's made for sync specifically. So yeah. G5, how does international licensing differ from domestic licensing? It works the same. And usually how it's set up is a publisher will kind of have a network of sub publishers, right? And like that music that you do, say for your publisher here in the States, will kind of be sent out to sub publishers as well. So like now the clients in those other countries have access to your music here, even though you're based in the States. So now those sub publishers can license that music on your behalf and on, your United States publishers' behalf to those clients in other countries. And then they'll collect the fees. They'll forward those fees to your publisher, and then like if these are upfront fees, your publisher would then pay them to you. If it is back-end royalties, then your PRO will eventually pay those out directly to you, and you'll start to see like international royalties and stuff like that show up on your royalty statement. You also will start to see placements that you got, like say if you're based in the States, placements that you originally got in the States, depending on what that placement was on, like the channel or whatever, or network or streaming service. You'll also start to see royalties come in from other countries when that show or whatever it is, documentary, whatever, when that re-airs in other countries. So I did Kardashians is the first one I think of, because I think Keeping Up with the Kardashians is probably one of the shows I've done that probably had the widest reach in terms of like international play or international replay. So I literally still see like royalty checks from like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like before they even stopped making like new episodes. It was years ago, and it still like cycles and circles around different countries and things like that. So that eventually comes back around. It takes a minute to kind of for those international ones to kick in, and to be collected and to finally end up with on your statement. But yeah, you'll see royalties from that eventually. They're not, I don't think they're as much, or I know they're not as much as like when it initially airs here in the States. I think it just pays better here, but you will see them. Good question. Gavino says, is it better to come to managers and A&Rs of artists to get in touch with the artist so you can produce for them, or is it better for them to come to you once you get big enough? It's better to come to managers and A&Rs. Man, it's like a combination of both, because like I've never been a fan of like waiting until someone comes to me. I've always been just like, put yourself out there like immediately, because they could find you through putting yourself out there, you know what I mean? And you know, just watching you build, like it just seems easier like when you're putting the work in, that other people see that, and then they're like, yo, like I see this person's putting in work no matter what, so you know, let's give them an opportunity. So yeah, I say, you know, reach out to them too. And then as you start to build, you build your catalog, you build your reputation, you know, build whatever, like you'll, you know, eventually start to attract opportunities as well. So yeah. Matthew with a question. Look, this joint ain't gonna even fit on it ain't gonna even fit on the screen. So the question is about royalty-free samples for sync. For sync music, I was avoiding samples from websites, royalty-free, etc. But do you know about Cymatics.fm? I do, for the website. That's the only website where I buy samples, drum packs, or download for free sometimes some beta pack. Really, really high level and great quality and 100% royalty free. They are kind of famous for that. You all probably already know them, by the way, for sure. For any placement that you get, or for whatever reason you want to use them, you can ask a license agreement that you have to fill in some point. They even got some sync placement in NBA 2K, for example. Any advice, point of view about it? Thank you. Asking because I'm cooking some beats with their melodies lately for sync. Great question. So my stance is right now, just no, like 100%. Even if they say, you know, you can ask for a license, which is great. Because, and we kind of talked about this. Was this last week? We talked about this. I posted in the Sync Producer Hub, like an in-depth explanation as to why even situations like this, where you get the license agreement, it's 100% royalty free, all that stuff. I explained like why it's layered, like it's multiple layers to it. Because number one, the publishers still, they're iffy with it. And a lot of them are even putting in their agreements, we don't want any royalty free samples. We don't care if you can get a license agreement. It was like, we don't want to deal with it. We don't want the potential of a headache. So it's just like a no. On the flip side, occasionally you'll get a publisher who's cool with it if you can also supply that license agreement. That's the only time I'll do it is if they like specifically mention that. Usually they'll mention it in a brief. For example, I did a vocal chop. I did a vocal chop production music album for BMG, and then I pitched for an ad, and they wanted a track that just had like vocal riffs in the hook. So in those briefs, they were like, it's cool to use royalty-free vocal chops. When you submit the music, just submit the license agreement saying you can do it. Excuse me. So that's what I did in those specific instances. But generally, if I'm like creating for sync and just like, you know, building a catalog or just working on a brief where they didn't mention that, I won't do it. And the reason why is because when it comes down to like creating stems and things like that, if say they want vocals only, and you're using that royalty-free vocal sample, or they want the main melody only, and they use that main melody and sync it, and you get credited as a composer, you're violating that end user license agreement, because you can't take that sample and that loop, use it as is, or use it at all by itself, even if it was like reconstructed, and call it your own and get paid for it. So then that creates like lawsuits. So they try and stay away from that stuff. So I say no, especially from, unfortunately, like the popular sites, man, because that makes it even more likely to be picked up. And they're using this technology now with like they'll scan the song, and like they'll literally say this includes this sample from this person, red flag, don't use it. And you know you don't want that to happen a bunch of times with your music, and then they're just like, you know what, this ain't gonna be a good fit. So that's like my kind of short, long answer to that, Matthew. It's weird, man. It's like, it's just, yeah, it's weird. And they're trying, like, you know, we've had conversations with Splice and about it, and I think it's just like publishers, man, just getting caught in the middle of stuff, and they just like, they don't want that headache, man. As of 2024, is it best for instrumentals or tracks with vocals? 2024, do both. If you can do both, do both. I say, I mean, you can't go wrong with vocals, because vocals, you already have both. You have the full song and you have the instrumental. So yeah. But yeah, definitely have producers getting licensing deals off instrumentals, and obviously the vocal stuff is getting synced as well. You know. So yeah, Albert says, how much music should you be creating weekly, monthly? That, honestly, it's up to you. However much you can create a week, however much you can create a month, it's different for everybody. I think the main thing is consistency. Like, whatever you can do that every week, do that every month. Especially if you're starting out, like, you gotta get those numbers up, so you can start gaining traction. You can't like start off with like one a month and submit one track a month, and then like you're sitting back waiting for the placements to start rolling in. It's gonna take a lot longer for you to start gaining traction, versus if you can knock out, I don't know, 10 a month. You know what I'm saying? 10 a month. By the end of the year, you go 12 months. What's that? 120 tracks. So that's a great start. Or even if you do, I don't know, if you do five a month, you know, still better than just being inconsistent, doing one here, one there. So whatever you can do and keep up with on a consistent basis, that's the number you should commit to, and then try and push that number up as much as you can, to challenge yourself. You know, for the new people coming in, man, let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. If you have questions, definitely drop it. If you're in the private joint from Sync Producer Hub, you can raise your hand if you have a question, or you can drop your question in the chat. If you raise your hand, if you want to be pulled up on video, raise your hand. If it's just a regular chat, you can just drop it in the chat. So yeah, that's my approach to it. Or it could be like per brief. Like for me, I would always try and do like 4 or 5 tracks per brief. Back when I started, and those were like, you know, pretty straightforward, you know, minute and a half instrumental briefs. I know full songs take a little bit longer to produce, right? So, you know, you're probably not knocking out 4 to 5 new songs every brief. Like, you also have to be realistic and know what you can do. But one is better than 0. If you can only do 1 per brief, listen, it's better than 0. You immediately have a higher chance of getting something placed, submitting that one joint. every time there's a brief, than the person who's just like, like I only have one, I'm not gonna submit it. Like, no, always, like, never not submit. NNS, that's my NNS method. Never not submit. G5, any suggestions to help speed up workflow to create, push out more songs monthly? I know having templates is one way. Yes, templates is probably like the hugest way. Templates, everything from like sound selection for like each style of track, obviously, having those plugins already like laid out, and instruments and tracks and stuff like that. Channel strips, I'll have like preset channel strip templates for, stuff that I'm mixing all the time, like 808, snares, vocals, my mastering chain that has a template. So templates is like definitely the biggest one. I think setting aside like dedicated time for you to create will help you create and push songs out, because then you're disciplining yourself and telling your brain, like, every time I sit down at this time every day, like, I'm gonna create something, versus kind of approaching it from, this wholesome creator standpoint where you have to wait for inspiration to sprinkle down from the heavens to be creative. But like, if you set a dedicated time, it's like, no matter what, I don't care how I'm feeling, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to create something. If you do that, I think that will help you increase your output, because now you're creating based off discipline, not inspiration. Inspiration is fickle. Discipline is just like, it's time. It's 8 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. It's time to create. So that'll put you in that mindset to create on demand. And then when briefs come in, you have one or two options. You can either sit down at that dedicated time to create for that brief, or because you've been creating consistently, you now have a catalog of music that may work for that brief that's already done that you can just submit. So now you're able to, submit more songs because you've been building up your catalog, even when you're not getting or actively working on briefs. You know what I mean? Now you're just kind of creating things that works, and that will be requested at some point during the year. So those are a couple things that help speed up the workflow. Another thing could be what I used to do at one point. I don't do it now, but what I used to do is I sort of do it just in a different way. But like, say Monday would be specifically for ideas. It's just to create the 8 bars, the full 8 bars of what would be the hook, and just focus on knocking those out. Just 8 bars. As soon as it's done and I'm like, yo, I have the hook, I have, the meat of the song, all I have to do is structure it. I'll move on to the next one, create another one. That way it kind of puts you in a zone of just focusing on like one part of the process. And then Tuesday may be the day where you go in and structure everything out. Put your intro, your verse. And the way I like to produce is like, I work backwards from that 8 bar hook anyway. So it's really just like subtracting sounds and stuff in each of the verse, add some transitional elements, and just kind of, taking things in and out. So Tuesday you would do that, structure it out. Then Wednesday, Thursday could be mixing the tracks, you know what I mean? Kind of creating like this assembly line of completing the tracks, but you're kind of doing like batch work to where you're doing the same type of work for multiple tracks on specific days. And then by the end of the week, you've knocked out, however many of those ideas. So that could be one way as well, to just kind of create a system where you're just focusing on a specific thing for each day, and you just kind of stay locked in that zone. But trying those things out and see how it works for you. You may have to adjust it, may not like it, and then you try other things. So yeah, one day, one section per song. Yeah, yep, no doubt. De nada. Sorry, I do remember that from Spanish. G. Oh man. What's your opinion on VSTs like arcade and the sounds being royalty free or not? So yeah, we kind of touched on that a little bit, but so arcade can be a little bit different because sometimes you can like say there's a sample in an arcade instrument, but you can like play and do chords with that and like create just this whole new thing. Like that's kind of different than just like a melodic loop or something like that, or like a vocal loop or vocal sample or something like that, because you can like literally play a new creation, you know what I mean? So that can kind of be different. But like if you're just taking it and you hold the note and you just let it play what it plays regularly, then it would kind of be the same thing, where I wouldn't advise doing that. Yeah. Songwriter, South Carolina songwriter, artist, producer, engineer, and one is better than zero. I'm realizing that now. Facts, 100%, Chris. Yeah, one is absolutely better than zero, man. No doubt, Albert. Yeah, most important part is, man, is creating and putting that music out there. Gotta get it out there, or else you can't get a deal. G5 says, what's the most unexpected place you've seen a song synced? The most unexpected place. Frontier Airlines. Frontier Airlines was the most unexpected place that I've seen music licensed. And I mean, I guess, I mean, of course it can happen. I don't know how, but it was a Christmas song, and I don't know, like I seen royalties from like Frontier Airlines. Like it was I don't know what, I don't know if it was like a radio thing, like if it was like waiting music on the plane, like I don't know, or it could have been, you know how like they play music sometimes on like maybe in the concourse or something. I really have no details on exactly what it was. I just know it was like a random airline and it was a Christmas song. That was that. LW said, did the check bounce? Oh man. No, because the check came directly from CSAC, so you know, hopefully Frontier was good on that payment. But yeah, I didn't expect that at all. That was random. That was very random. And I haven't seen like any other placement like that since. Like it was just literally just the most random thing. No one said anything. It was like, I don't even know how it happened. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe they got like a license directly from CSAC. I don't know how airlines work in regards to licensing music. But yep, that by far was the most unexpected place I've seen some music synced. It's hilarious. Shout out to Frontier Airlines. I should probably add that to my, or maybe not. Maybe that. I don't know if that would be a good brand connection. Your music was literally traveling. Like literally, it was traveling, flying Frontier. Yeah. I flew Sky Blue. Is it Sky Blue before? It wasn't bad. The seats were tiny, but they had blue lights. I thought that was a nice touch. I thought that was cool. Like, listen, I got the blue LED light thing going on. This isn't bad, you know. This is a better experience. So yeah. But that's it, guys. It's been an hour. We're gonna wrap it up. This was fun. Great questions as always. Shout out to the Sync Producer Hub members dropping in some dope questions. If you're not a member, the link is in the description. Come in. I threw all of my courses inside the Sync Producer Hub because, listen, a course alone is cool. It's helped producers get sync deals and placements and things like that. But what I found over the years is that a lot of producers get stuck along the way. They get stuck on their journey, and they have questions that just come up. And sometimes those specific questions aren't answered in a course. So you need a community of people who are going through the process with you, or who have gone through the process, that can kind of give you some extra support, some extra insight, and just be surrounded around people who have the same goal as you, so that you don't give up on your dream, give up on your mission. And that's what the Sync Producer Hub does. Surrounds you around a community of dope people, and we're all like just helping each other out, giving value, and trying to get to these placements. So go to syncproducerhub.com, lock in today, or click the link in the description of the show notes. And you'll also have access to the private stream that they're tuning in from. You can get pulled up on video, ask questions and things like that, and get that support. So that's it, guys. I will catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.